Rocco and Martillo. It is the Jeff Traylor Radio Show presented by UT Health San Antonio, the official healthcare partner of UTSA Athletics. Roadrunners coming off a win over Charlotte, getting ready for East Carolina. We welcome head coach Jeff Traylor to the program. Great win on Saturday. Always good to win on the road. And you break that 2-year streak of not doing so in conference play. So congrats on that. I know you were thrilled with getting the win and getting out of Charlotte, coming home with a W.
We were. It was a good day. It wasn't a perfect day. There are very, very few games I've ever coached that they're perfect. But I think you just could feel our frustration, of our road. You can feel it heavy. As much as I don't want to, we don't talk about it in the locker room.
Sure.
But they get a lot of it just from media doing their job. I mean, it's not like anybody's trying to set us up to fail. But you could just feel players, and it's so, you've seen us now, the mistakes we make on the road are so unforced, and it's so mental. It's not physical. It's mental. Now, it takes its toll on the physical, but it's so, you can just feel the pressure.
And defensively, you got your physicality back, and that's something that when the defense plays with that much energy and effort and you're physical, it resonates to the other team.
Yeah, I still that's where you got to be careful, though. The roster matters, and we were. I'm going to take the coaching. I'll take all the blame for it. But sometimes you're outgunned. I mean, you just are.
Right.
And we take total responsibility for not having our kids in places where they're supposed to be. But when your kids are there, and they just can't make the play, you have to look at that. And that's where I've really been pressing. We got to keep pressing, or if we're going to get in the hunt for these championships.
And with the offense struggling in the red zone in the first half, the defense made sure that Charlotte didn't score and even get in really a good field position to score. So that helped the offense a little bit, confidence-wise, to know, hey, we just need to get a couple of scores and we can kind of put this away a little bit.
Yeah, I remember doing the show with Jason and Joe, and they kept asking me what we did different. Our roster, all you got to do is look at the field. And you go, man, UTSA roster is a lot better than that roster. So I'm not going to sit here and say it was all coaching. Players,
players matter, don't they?
I've said it's a players' game since I've been here, and people don't like that because they think I'm trying to excuse myself from it. But I was winning 12, 11, and 10 when I was saying that. And you have to be careful because it makes it sound like you're blaming your players. I'm defending my players. I really am. I'm defending them because I'll give an example of early in that game. The quarterback from South Florida, right? We had our best players in great position to tackle that kid. And I don't care what tackling drills you do, that you're not getting that guy down. So that's why the roster development is important. I get it, evaluation's important, but you got to have the goods to get them now, and it's just the way of the new world. It really is.
When even back to your high school coaching days, when your roster was better, you were an amazingly better coach, weren't you?
Most of the time, my roster was better. Most of the time. And when you get a program going, all the players come to you. Well, when we got this thing going, we had all the momentum going. That's when NIL started. And that was unfortunate for us, right? If it had just stayed the same, we'd have just kept percolating. And I'm not saying we're not going to percolate again, but we're going to have to invest to get to percolating the way I want to percolate.
Exactly. Well, we're sitting out here at the Spurs facility across the way, and Greg Popovich has the all-time wins, and he says, I'm the all-time winningest coach because of Tim Duncan. And I wouldn't be if I didn't have him. So I think coaches put that into perspective. When you have good players, you develop them, you get them in the right schemes, good players make good coaches great.
One of my favorite quotes is every player needs a coach, and every coach needs a player. We are mutually coexistent. We can't survive without each other because if you don't do a good job coaching them, they don't want to play for you. They're not going to play well. And I take responsibility for anything that doesn't happen on the field correctly. And I'm also taking responsibility for I got to fundraise better. I've got to get more money in our budget so we can get a roster.
When you were with us on postgame, you said about 85% of the plays you thought were good. There was 10 or 15% that you'd like to have again. Was that about accurate when you reviewed the film?
Yeah. They had a better call on than we did on Roberts minus 30. But you got to make that a -1. You can't make it a -30. They had a better call on than us when they brought Field Smash, which is the Sam and the Mike. from the field, and we had a protection on that was not good for that call. So there's always a few calls you wish you had back. There's a few plays we just didn't execute very well. But to your point, our kids played really hard the entire day, and our defense just wasn't going to let us lose the game.
I see this in basketball sometimes when you've got a team that your players are better, you're a heavy favorite, and you were a heavy favorite on the road against Charlotte. But in basketball, it's like they're playing so fast they're trying to score twice in the same possession. Does that relate at all to football where you're trying to hurry up the score so you can get the ball back and do it again?
Well, I think the mistake on the second drive put some real pressure on us because we just played so well, and our kids were so in the groove, and that turnover really gutted us. And then the pressure started because even though our defense dominated, somehow Charlotte had 29 minutes of offense.
Right.
That blew my mind. We were so good on offense. I don't know. This has to be a mistake. There's no way they had the ball as long as we did, but they really did. So they must have had – but they didn't have that many first downs either. They didn't have that many yards, so they must have stayed in the huddle a really long time.
They were milking the clock as much as they could, shorten the game.
I guess so.
Banks and Blackshire, you've been really good this year at middle linebacker. They're always around the ball. We had Shad on the postgame show, and he said he was disappointed that they didn't get the shutout, but he said a lot of these us defensive guys are on the Night Stalkers, and we mess that up as much as anything. So he was taking blame for that, but still a great performance by the defense.
Yeah, we're going to miss those two guys. We are. They have been really special. And there's a great example of the transfer portal, working. And we were blessed to have those guys. Excuse me.
So you got 5 wins now, and you can start talking about 6 and bowl eligibility. At the same time, with East Carolina coming in here, they're trying to win a game another one to hopefully get in the conference championship game.
Yeah, I wish it wasn't these two guys we got. I do. They're really good wherever they play. Both these two teams are we got left. But this one's the most complete team we played. South Florida is very good, and North Texas is very good, but I don't believe either one of those teams. You could correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if any one of those teams is statistically as high in both categories nationally as these two teams, as East Carolina is.
Yeah, East Carolina offensively, I think you said 8th in the nation in offense.
8th, or they're up there. Depends on kind of what analytics you use. I'll look at my sheet, but I'm almost sure that's what they were. I don't want to tell you a story here. Head to head, no, they're 14th in offense, 10th in third down conversions. Defense, they're 8th and third down and 15th. So they're 14th in offense, 15th in defense, nationally.
Yeah, that's pretty good company right there. And but you do have home field advantage, and that place has been special for you. And that's not alone going to get it done, but it certainly helps to be in the Dome.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Their home field was a tremendous advantage for them last year. That place was rocking. And I need our place to be rocking Saturday. I hope everybody will come out.
All right, we're going to talk with a couple of players. DeAndre Marshall's out here. John Jones is out here. We'll get to them. We're also going to have Derek Pittman on the show in a little while with their soccer team having another great season. And we have our play of the game and all that kind of stuff coming up here in just a little bit. UTSA fans, get ready. had last week against Charlotte. That was pretty good play in the game.
Oh, yes, sir. That was big time.
Take us through that play and what happened and how did you get to the quarterback?
That was just a normal two-face to the boundary. We had caught a smash on that play. You know, we've been watching them all game, seen the way they've been sliding to us. So we thought we'd slant the D-line. We slanted, and I got home, got the sack.
Awesome. And you had the sack against Rice earlier in the year to get a safety for the first time in a couple of years for UTSA.
Yes, sir. That was big for the program, especially a critical part in time for the game. Really changed the momentum of the game for us.
Now, I remember last year you were hurt early in the season, and all the coaches were saying, we can't wait to get John Jones on the field. Missouri and Northern Arizona and now UTSA. Talk about your journey and playing for the Roadrunners.
My journey's been a whole bunch of ups and downs, man. A lot of critical thinking and self-reflecting, but being here at UTSA has definitely like brought it all together and made it all worthwhile. You know, being here under Coach Traylor, you know, I've been a lot of places and there's not a lot of coaches that connect with his players and like have that actual heart-to-heart relationship. You know, a lot of people just talk to their players every here and there, but Coach Traylor takes his time out of his day to, you know, have a good relationship with his players. So being here just really made it worthwhile. You know what I'm saying? Made it all not for nothing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
John, tell me about that dance. Like, where'd that come from? And and all the fellows that followed you, like, where'd that come from?
You know, we been playing the shadow boxing game a lot in the locker room.
Okay.
And Pee Wee was playing Johnny Bowens, and he got him with the Soldier Boy, and that just had me rolling. So I was like, if I ever make a play today, I'm gonna use that for a celebration.
Well,
and then they was like, all right, bet. So when I did it, everybody already knew what time it was, and then we just got to hitting it.
That was hilarious,
it was
man.
good.
Yeah. One started, then two, then three, then four. I mean, we were Soldier Boy and all. I was like, please don't snap the ball. I don't want to delay the game right here.
Right. Jeff, talk about getting John here last year in the transfer portal, and he was a guy that you needed, and he had a little bit of an injury early on, but he's been a big-time player since.
Yeah, I believe you had a relationship with Coach Jordan.
Yes,
is that
sir.
right? And we were late getting him because he got in late. But Corey swore by him, and Corey's a really good man, and he put a good name on John. So I trust Corey, and he was right. John's a good human. He works hard. He's been a joy for our roster. He's a really good player. Imagine if he had two hands. He does all that with one hand, man. I told him today he made a tackle with one hand. I said, use two hands, and he just laughed at me.
So defensively, the defensive line, there's really no drop-off when one group comes out, one group comes in. But just talk about that group and the coaching staff in that defensive line room. That's pretty special.
I've been a lot of places, and not a lot of places have that deep of a D-line room where you can have your ones go out and your twos come in and no drop-off, and your twos come out and your threes come in experiences. And I'm always just trying to coach up the guys, give them a little wisdom. So,
Is it Papa John or Grandpa John?